Last week we hosted the U.S.-Japan Interparliamentary Group here in Washington, D.C., 10 members of the Diet. We talked about all kinds of different issues, but really so much of the conversation came back to Japan's need for additional energy. After the disaster last year at Fukushima, almost all of their nuclear power is now offline. In fact, the last of the nuclear power reactors in Japan is scheduled to go offline within this next month, and 30% of the energy that is generated there in Japan will be offline from last year. So they're looking to fill this gap. Well, it is, and when you look at the numbers, when you look at Japan's need right now, it does look like we have some opportunities with our friends in Asia if we were to be able to move Alaska's natural gas from the North Slope, liquefy it, and send it overseas. Japan is looking right now. They're looking at Australian gas, they're looking at Indonesian gas, they're looking all over the country right now. Alaska has had the longest term contract. In fact, it's the longest term export contract that this country has with any nation, has been for export of LNG out of Cook Inlet to Japan. That has been almost a 40-year contract now. So we've got a relationship built with the Japanese. We have clearly the resources. We know that, and the issues that they're facing potentially in the lower 48 when it comes to export of domestic natural gas out of the lower 48, there are still issues that have yet to be resolved with fracking. Alaska's gas is different, and that's the case that we've been trying to make here. Again, keep in mind an economy the size of Japan's losing 30% of their energy generation capacity in a one-year time period. Think about what that would do to the American economy if we lost 30% of our power. So their needs are huge. And when you take into account what we have potentially available to us, whether it's our North Slope gas that we currently have, what could be available through NPRA, what could be available ultimately through ANWR, what is available offshore, the estimates that we're looking at indicate that we could supply Japan with about 250 years of natural gas. Well, I think we recognize that that export of our natural gas is something that has long been considered, long been considered, and we recognize that Alaska's natural gas is different than gas in the lower 48. So I think we recognize that we have the potential for a considerable customer right now. And that's been part of our dilemma as we try to get a gas project moving forward. We might have somebody who's willing to build it, but do we have the market? I think Japan could potentially be an enormous market for us, a remarkable market that would allow us to not only provide for that export, but to meet our in-state needs for the folks, whether they be in Fairbanks or South Central or wherever in Alaska. We've got to figure out how we get our gas to market. I think that the Japanese market could really help facilitate an Alaska project.